Field stabilized. When I turn up the heat, we gotta move.
What is up, guys? Welcome to State of the Game from March 14th, 2013. My name is J.P. McDaniel. Joining me today on the show is none other than mOOnGLaDe, Wolf, and Dan in the nick of time. I'm so sorry, by the way. I totally forgot about daylight savings time and the fact that it's noon instead of 1 for you now, but you made the show, so it doesn't even matter.
I did.
What have you been up to, Dan? You just got back from France last night, right?
Yeah, I just got back last night. France was badass. It was so much fun. And Nick and I stayed an extra day, but no one else scheduled to stay an extra day. And then it snowed, and they all missed their flights, and they had to spend time with us. So it was just fantastic. We broke the record on single stream views for StarCraft on Twitch once again.
Was that the record?
105 on that. We rebroke the record from WCS Europe. Where we had 100K concurrence on the English stream, and now we had 105. It was like 120 something total.
Yeah.
Totally sick. It was so well produced. The games were fantastic. All the filler content was amazing. I didn't get to really see the other launch parties, but I know the Europe one was a blast, and everyone loved it. It was fantastic, man. I was so happy to be a part of it.
Awesome stuff. Well, it's actually, it's just kind of a happy accident. Dan went to Europe. I went to the U.S. one. mOOnGLaDe was at the Australian one, and Wolf was at the Korean one. So,
oh yeah,
we actually just like covered
this.
We covered the world.
We basically
right
were just missing the Taiwan one.
Yeah, all you do is call Juani now, and you can ask him about the Taiwan one.
I guess so. mOOnGLaDe, how was the Australian one, man?
It was amazing. It was really impressive. It was a great live event, and we had such a good turnout. And actually, a lot of them mentioned they saw me on State of the Game, which was really cool.
Sick.
So, yeah, a lot of fans from down there.
What?
Yeah, it was great fun.
What was Browder like having in town? Did you get to talk with him at all?
Yeah, I was actually next to him in the signing booth for a long time, and yeah, he's a cool guy. Loves to chat about StarCraft, man.
Oh yeah, that guy is beyond passionate. I actually caught. I think it came on at 3 a.m. Pacific time when I was in the hotel, and I caught the first 10 or 15 minutes of it with him doing an interview before you guys started playing. And I just immediately got excited for Heart of the Swarm. I just wanted to play the single player. Just after hearing him talk about, I don't know, Kerrigan and her deep-hated passion or whatever of Minx, I was like, well, fuck, he just sold me on the game. But the other story I wanted to talk to you about is last week. What the fuck was going on, man? You got you were robbed at gunpoint, or you were within?
Oh shit!
What the hell?
Well, it wasn't that bad, man. But yeah, I pretty much I was walking in the city. I was getting my haircut, and I was waiting for my appointment, so I just went for a stroll. I was strolling up behind this really tall, pretty ripped guy. It looked like he could be an MMA fighter or something, and he was carrying a duffel bag. And I'm like, all right. And I just kept walking because he stopped outside a shop. And as I walk around this bend, so I'm walking back down the same way, and he's got a gun out, his shirt off, and all the cops are have guns pointed at him. And he's strolling up and down he's gonna do something crazy. So I was like, holy shit. I was walking right behind this guy.
Oh my god.
And then the cops were just yelling to everyone get back and all this shit, and I was just like, holy fuck. So I just pretty much walked around the bend and got my hair done. But then you gotta get your hair done.
You're just fuck this, I'm gonna go get my hair done.
Yeah, but then everywhere got shut down everywhere, all around us. So I had to stay in the salon for an hour and a bit just to wait it out until the guy eventually got shot by the cops. So it was really fun. Yeah. But, it was crazy that I was so close to him.
Yeah, I wish I had the clip because you were interviewed on TV after that, which I thought was pretty funny. That they
wearing
just
a Zerg shirt, man. Fucking represent.
There you go.
I'm Andrew mOOnGLaDe Pender.
Did you say mOOnGLaDe when they asked you what your name was?
Should Should just be like.
You should have just said
mOOnGLaDe.
your name was mOOnGLaDe, and they probably would have been like, we don't want to interview this fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Oh God, Wolf, what's up, man? How was the Korean launch?
It was sick. There were so many people. Keller and I came really early because we just like to go to the venues early, make sure we know what's up, where we're sitting, and kind of what Blizzard had planned for us to do. And there was like already 100 people or so just like sitting down, like in chairs or on the ground, like playing cell phone games, waiting because they want to be the first people into the venue. Then when the line was coming to actually get the collector's editions and get the StarCraft games after the entire event, which everyone was so stoked for, and the crowd was like shaking the ground with their cheers. At the end, I was there for like an extra hour waiting for some of the Blizzard people to leave. And I was like, oh, it'll probably be over soon. The line's dying down. I look outside and I can't even see the end of the line, just see a sea of people just waiting to buy the game. And I was like, oh shit.
Sick.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I think you guys probably had like the most, well, maybe not the most exciting because Europe had like some incredible players, but the players that you guys had for your show matches were definitely some of the biggest names, man, in Korea, that's for sure. Like
It was like
it was Flash
it was-
versus Life, I think was one of them, and
Yeah, we had Flash and Life, but the big deal about the Korean launch was it was really catered towards the Korean fans. That's why they had that 2v2 on Hunters, for example, because every Korean plays StarCraft 1 and a PC Bong on Hunters. That's like all they ever play. So like Blizzard, reached out to them and said like, you have the chance as a fan to play with one of your pro gamers that you've followed for years and years and years
That's
in a 2v2
fucking
on
cool.
Hunters. So like for a Korean fan to be able to do that was insane. So
that's
it
awesome.
was pretty cool.
I think just to touch on kind of the launch party, I think overall just globally the stream was perfect. The event was unparalleled. Like the U.S. launch was awesome. We got to see tons of community content. The European launch was awesome. Like production, game quality over there. The fact that you guys were doing the best of 3 of 1 or whatever, is that what you guys were calling it, Dan? What was the weird thing where you're...
we had like it was a single limb bracket, best of 3 with 4 players. So
Right, but that you guys were doing did you guys do best of 3s there, or was it Korea that
Yeah.
did the one where it was like where they would go back in the same game? Was that just
The
Korea?
replay thing.
we tried to go back in the game one time in the finals, and it failed. Like White Raw's keyboard didn't work or something. It was weird. But
Well, Wolf,
That
correct
is
me if
weird.
I'm wrong, because I was at the U.S. launch, so I didn't get to see this obviously. But you guys like they would play one game, and then you guys would talk to Flash, and he would like choose a point in the match where he think that it was lost, and he would
Yeah,
go
that's
back in the
basically what
replay and take
happened.
command and like replay the game, right?
Yeah, so we had one game between Flash and Life, and then it was a best of 1, quote unquote, and then Life won, and so we went and talked to Flash, and he was interviewed, and he was like, oh, I think after all these run bys came to my base and I didn't defend, and that's when I started to lose the game. So he specifically picked a point in the replay, and then we went back in and used the take command feature, and Flash was able to replay the game from that point. Then he won in the replay, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I got a
think
funny
that's
story
so-
about
that's cool.
funny story about the replay thing.
Go ahead.
We used it in Australia too, and we did the first game, and then like we did the replay thing, and then like they decided to ask the crowd when Yang should like start again from, because he lost the game and he gets to choose, sort of thing. And some dude just like yells out like no, and it's like my spawning pool has just gone down, so the game pretty much completely starts over again. So it's just retarded. So we pretty much just played the whole game again.
It's
Uh,
it's cool how much they
It's
got
so
the
funny.
community involved, like all around.
Yeah.
I think, and you guys can obviously chime in and talk about it as well. But it was a great event. I think that there was nothing wrong with any of the events. Everything, it actually worked out that there was a 21-hour stream that didn't have any hiccups. That got incredible numbers. That had pretty good matches. The U.S. matches, I was a little bit maybe disappointed by. Just because they
what were
had
the US matches actually? I wasn't really sure.
So the first match was Suppy versus Vibe, which is ZVZ, which
Yeah.
I don't know like why they would show that for like the first game on stream
Yeah, that's
for a show
a
match.
little bit weird.
And then
Yeah.
then it was MC and oh man, chat will tell me who the other player was. MC versus Polt was the other match,
Oh, sick.
which is a
Sick.
pretty good match.
They should have mixed that up though a little bit. It
Yeah,
should have
yeah,
been
like.
a TVZ and it's PVZ, I think probably.
Yeah, I don't mean to shit on Suppy and Vive, but like, I'd rather see MC and Pulp be the final, you know? Like, not the second match to be played, but
Oh, was it a
Blizzard
little
had, like,
bracket as well?
different.
I believe it was a little bracket, yeah. A lot of people are like wondering
Well,
how I don't know all this, and it's because I was at the bar more so than like sitting in the crowd. Like, let's just be honest here.
Bringing reality to the people.
Let's just be honest for a second. Oh, okay. It was just two different show matches. Well, I still think they should have
Yeah,
mixed
no,
it up.
every player, every region rather did their own thing with it. It was cool, man. To not have like, you didn't have to have a certain strategy. It's just whatever the region wanted to do, and I loved it, man. What a great idea! They've got to do that for Legacy of the Void. I think it's
Absolutely.
obvious that they're going to have to, because this was, as far as I'm concerned, this was very successful.
Yeah.
I know we had
Yeah,
a lot
it was
of
awesome.
viewers and stuff checking out what is Heart of the Swarm, and I thought the shows did a great job kind of showcasing some cool stuff.
Yeah, I thought the community content was great for the U.S. I guess some of my highlights were definitely the Carbot. The two animation pieces actually were incredible. One of them,
the Carbot thing
the
of
Carbot
the trailer
thing was so incredible.
cute.
Yeah.
Did you see
that's
the
so good.
raunchy one? Did you see that one,
No.
Dan? Oh my
I didn't
god!
see that one.
thought the
It was
trailer
like
launch
a-
was fantastic.
It was like a Zerg reporter, like a human reporter reporting on all the units, and like he would compare like the units from Brood War to like their, I guess, StarCraft 2 equivalent, and like they got the lurker versus the swarm host in like a boxing ring to like fight to see who was gonna
Yeah.
like be the unit, and they both just burrowed and like nothing happened because they didn't have detection. Or there's just stupid shit like that, and they had like the Defiler was there, and the Viper like pulls it out and like switches places. Incredible animation pieces. I think those two guys are just probably one of the best content pieces that you can get in StarCraft 2, especially Carbot. Like the fact he puts
Carbot
out
is-
that stuff every other week or whatever, that's just insanity, man. It's so
Carbot's
good.
That's
amazing.
great.
That thing he did of the trailer, I was just smitten over that, man. And imagine if you are the Blizzard guys. I can't even imagine the guys that made the trailer, how much they must have liked it.
Oh yeah.
They must have just been like, their organs probably came on the outside of their bodies or something. Like, something drastic happened to them, because I would have just been so pleased if I had made that trailer and someone did something that cute with it.
Yeah, let me
Because I already tell you.
here it is. Here it is. I'll
That,
play
that
it here.
Viper, man. Pulling the battle cruiser
Dude,
down.
yeah, that's
so
the best
funny.
part of the
Oh,
entire
yeah, that
thing.
was the best for sure. Yeah, I love
It's so
that.
true. It
That was-
happens
There it
too,
is.
man.
Oh, I really enjoyed that.
This is I think the best community piece that was done. If you guys haven't seen it, you can go over to, I think it's
Well,
Carbot.
Carbot stuff is just cheating. It's like too good.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's Carbot animation on YouTube. If you don't know, if you don't know who he is or
So
you
funny,
haven't seen
man.
anything, man, go check it out. It's very like whimsy. It's fucking. It's very much his own style. It's just awesome stuff. Cannot give enough praise to that guy, and all the success that he's having with his YouTube channel is so warranted. It's so worth it. But anyways, yeah, great launch party all around. I think Heart of Swarm was out, came out in style. The launch was like fucking super. There was no issues. Like people could log in right at midnight. There was no issue playing the game. Like everything worked. The achievement servers I think went down maybe a couple times, but like oh well. It's not really the biggest deal. You could still play the game. In an industry where SimCity just failed so bad the week before, for Blizzard to come out and just
Yeah.
like smash what they did with Heart of Swarm, it's definitely awesome. Definitely a good thing for
There's
PC gamers
never-
to have.
There's never really been a launch like that, right? For any game ever.
It's where it just goes like flawless for
Like
an online DMR.
worldwide, like huge to do. There's never been anything quite like that, right? Like a connected worldwide launch.
No,
that
no,
was,
that
think
was
so.
one of a kind as far as I,
I
know.
feel like
Wow.
this was something like even more special than we think it was with the way that they did this.
Yeah,
So imagine Legacy of the Void, man.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Imagine Legacy of Void.
I can't
exactly.
wait. I'm already done with HOTS. Where's my Legacy of the Void?
I don't want to talk about the single player too much. Wolf, I know you beat it, right?
Yeah, I did beat it.
So
No
I-
spoilers. No
Yeah, no
spoilers for the
spoilers.
next
I won't
2 years,
spoil anything,
please.
but I can
Good.
talk about, like, I thought the campaign was really fun. And there's a lot of different choices you can make regarding upgrades and stuff that are less permanent than they were in Wings of Liberty. So I feel like it makes playing the game just feel a little bit less stressful when you're working with abilities that you can choose at any point in time, rather than having to make a permanent choice. There are some permanent choices you have to make, but I really like what Blizzard did with it as just, I thought it was really easy actually, but it was still really fun because there's so many different choices you can make, and you can kind of customize how you play the campaign. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I guess you really can't talk about it all that much. There's not a lot of base building in the single player, I feel. And I was definitely like surprised by that, but I was pleasantly surprised. Like, it's good. It's a single player that I think more people will enjoy, more so than just like, all right, guys, here's your Zerg base. This is what a spawning pool does. This is how you build it. Now you need to make Zerglings and like go kill this enemy base. Like, there's not that much of that in the game, at least the portions that I've played. It's more like, here's Kerrigan. She's a badass doing badass things. Go take on like 1 billion guys and defeat them all. And
No, what they did with Kerrigan was really really awesome because you have this hero unit that, like in StarCraft 1 and in Wings of Liberty, when you have a hero unit, it's like always at the top left, so-and-so must survive is like one of your mission objectives. And then you have this hero that's basically just a Marine that's slightly stronger than the rest of the Marines, but Kerrigan is like this badass hero that can kill like endless enemies, and if she dies, she still respawns, and you only have to worry about if she dies or not, and that's just part of what makes the game more fun.
yeah, it's definitely like having that overpowered unit. But that's it for, I guess, Hardest Swarm. I mean, do you guys have any other topics that there's nothing like to pick on for the launch. It was just a good launch. Completely positive launch.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
No, it was badass, man. I was happy to be a part of it.
Cool. Well, I guess some more. I don't even know. Like in the document, I put that this was breaking news in it. It's kind of funny too that to me, it turned into like a personal troll on Slasher just to see if I could bait him out of like saying something on Twitter. So I tweeted probably about an hour and a half before the show started that I had talked to someone from IPL, and they gave me a couple little tidbits of news to basically like make an announcement of announcement. And I said like, oh, okay, let's like make this announcement of an announcement on State of the Game. Make sure you tune in. And about 5 minutes later, Slasher tweets, although Blizzard isn't buying IPL, there's a strong possibility IPL GM David Ting will head over and bring select staff with him. Now, I don't know if this is true. This wasn't the information that I was told about from Kevin Naki, who was talking to me earlier today. His little, I guess, spiel was saying that IPL is still a thing. They've been acquired by a company, or I guess someone. I don't know if it's a company or a independent entrepreneur or what, but it's going to continue to move forward. More details are going to be coming out fairly soon, probably within a week is what he was telling me. But we'll hopefully have him on the show next week. He expressed interest in coming on and talking about that. But then with Rod tweeting that, like, have you guys heard similar stuff? I mean, Rod came up out of nowhere about this thing where Blizzard was not interested in buying IPL when, like, no one in the public community knew about that in the first place. So I thought that was a little odd.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. It was almost
Well,
like
it was going around.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was
rumor.
not public, but I guess he was just trying to post that that's not the case for the people who knew the rumors. I'm not sure.
Yes, I don't. It's like,
It's a little
all
bit
right.
weird.
Well, I don't know if you're saying Kevin Naki said that they've been purchased. I believe
was
yours
more-
over just Slasher saying something on Twitter. I don't know.
He was
Maybe I'm
very
crazy.
specific in saying acquired. So I don't know if that's like I think that's more telling than being purchased. If you were acquired by a company, I don't know, because it just seems a little different, man. He was very
JP
specific about that.
Thesaurus McDaniels.
No, it's
over
not even
here.
the source. Like, I fucking named my source. I'm not the Slasher, man. I like, by the way, that he was
not the
introduced as
source.
the Slasher.
Thesaurus. All right.
Oh, yeah,
this
that's-
is a book of synonyms.
Oh, I
know?
I see.
It's not just
This Slasher
acquired
was
and
so
purchased.
funny.
Yeah, I like.
Anyone else watch that video, by the way, where he gets introduced as the Slasher and moderates that for him? That was so funny.
No, I think he said that on Live on 3 or something. I thought that was funny, but I guess, I mean, how much do you guys put into what Slasher's saying? Like, David Ting with staff bringing people to Blizzard? Like, is that even, in what world? I don't understand, like, what the fuck they're going to
That
do
doesn't
there.
sound right. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
sound
Well,
right.
I mean, like, Blizzard is working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and they've already said that, like, they're trying to do a lot of big stuff for esports this year, and it's possible they might work together, but I don't see, like, an acquisition there. You know, maybe they're going to try to run some events together in the future, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be, like, one company gets acquired by Blizzard. I think it's probably just best everyone waits for Kevin to
Yeah,
make the
it's,
Yeah.
it's all speculation. It's also a little weird that like on I think it was either the 3rd or the 6th of March, IPL announced that they're doing a Shoot Mania event in April, and like that it's happening. It's a one-off event or
Well,
something.
Shoot
so-
Mania is one of these games that is the publisher paying the esports company. So
Right, right,
That
right.
would
But
make
like
sense.
here's IPL apparently with David Ting and a couple other staff going over to Blizzard, and they're running like a Shoot Mania event in April. It's
I
weird, man.
I don't know that that's true though. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll
Maybe
just have
that's
to
something that
see.
was being considered, but
right, right.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see what they come out with. Apparently here pretty soon in the next 7 days or so. So I guess look for news on that next week, and we'll definitely be talking about it if I can get Kevin on the show and the schedules line up and everything. We'll definitely bring him on. But other big news this week, and a topic that pretty much every member of Team EG and Team Liquid like declined to talk about in the public. It's finally out there that EGTL has a new head coach, Coach Park. And I know I'm glad that Dan and Wolf are on here because you guys can probably talk about him a lot more in depth than most people. I think the best quote from the article that was posted on evilgeniuses.net was that Coach Park says, "I've wanted to join a foreign team for a very long time now, so it feels like I have finally met my dream. It's very exciting to work with both Korean players and foreign players." So who is Coach Park, and what kind of legacy does he have?
okay. Well, Coach Park is the SKT1 former head coach, and he's a god mode coach. This guy is amazing. Like this, you can't find a better coach. Okay, there's a few coaches in Korea that really stand out above others. Like this guy's actually seriously good at StarCraft, like pro level. Like most of the coaches are just like managers that get the head coach title, but this is a guy that can actually like, play qualifier tournaments and get through them and stuff. Or he was at least in StarCraft 1. And so like insanely skilled, really hardworking, nicest guy I've actually ever met in Korea. And he's just seriously a god mode coach. You can't ask for a better coach. And it's a big deal because Trot wasn't really, I guess, doing it for the team. He's a much younger kid, and probably going to take him some time to really become a good coach. You gotta. It takes a while to become a good coach. So I think that this is great, and he's probably going to buckle the hell down on that team, man. And
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see way better results.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a massive challenge. The cool thing is you have basically the best coach, I feel, in Korea dealing with the team that is doing the worst, and he's also got people who aren't used to practicing in Kespa-style environments, really. Stefano especially, for example, Thorzen, I know Stefano's not in Korea anymore, but now you've got this group of players who's kind of has a new start with Heart of the Swarm, and you have a new coach, and I think it's going to be a really huge challenge for him, but it might work out in the end. And when you think about like a Korean pro gaming coach, especially if you're like me and Dan, who live out here in Korea, you always think of Coach Park. Like his face is so recognizable, it just like pops into your mind. You're like, yeah, that's what a Korean coach is like, and that's what these Kespa teams have, and that's why they succeed so quickly.
This guy is like so hardworking. I can't even begin to describe. There's like different people work in different levels of hardness, man, and I'm sure that they all work like pretty hard, but like this guy is so dedicated. He's such a great pick. I mean,
To pull from this
Wow.
article, his win rate is at 63%. It's the highest of any head coach in Pro League history, and his teams have made the playoffs in all 7 seasons that he's been a head coach. I don't know how many other coaches have done that because I haven't really followed it that closely, but he's got to be up there as with like maybe.
if you look
one
at the
other.
rosters of players that he's brought up over his career through the different teams he's been with, it's I don't know that there's a more accomplished coach.
Yeah,
He's
I
like
just don't think so.
actually, I mean, pretty much he's the best. Like only a few other coaches even come into the same bracket of category as him. Like very, very few. This guy is like Like this is what EG does, man. They pick up the very best of the very best, and he is exactly that. Like I know a lot of people that didn't follow StarCraft 1 super heavily don't know him, but this guy's been around forever. He has proven himself every single time. I know personally that he is a fantastic player as well as a coach, even, you know, and that is so rare when you can actually have a head coach that not necessarily is better or knows more, but plays enough to have some inkling of understanding, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, what a pickup.
It could mean would be really big things, and right now I feel the community sentiment not only in the foreign scene but also in Korea is very EGTL can't win any games. There's a lot of jokes going on about it, and I think it's important that EG makes a move like this. It's a move that's so drastic too that it's just kind of like saying EG is very invested in this and they really want to succeed, and they're making a great choice in picking up this coach.
Well, that shows you that EG isn't going anywhere out here. That's like,
that's a good point.
This guy, let me tell you, this guy's expensive. I don't know how much they're paying him. I have no idea, but I know how much a head coach of a Kespa team makes, and it's a lot. So they are investing in this guy.
Yeah, this is like, that's exactly what I was about to say. This guy is going to cost so much money because he's so good. He's so talented. He is the best of the best. So it shows that EG is really invested in this, and they're not just going to disappear after this season, I feel.
Yeah.
So for EG, I mean, for the player base, really specifically, like, is this this type of coach, this who's obviously probably really strict? I would imagine, like, to do so well, you have to have like a very strict schedule, very, very, very heavily moderated regiment for these players. Like, are they going to be able to adjust to probably what was not as a strict or rigorous schedule like that quickly? Or I honestly think, like, I mean, I don't know the players that well. Like, are they going to be able to do that? Are they going to be able to play the amount of times that he wants?
You can never tell who's going to be able to follow the Korean schedule, like the actual Kespa Korean schedule, until you put people into that situation. Like, we already know Jaedong will be fine. He's done it for countless years.
He's probably going to thrive in that situation, right?
There's a lot of players on that team that weren't ever on Kespa teams, so it's really hard to say. I don't know. I know that Puma can do it. I've seen him do it for years and years. But the ones that were on Kespa teams, we will see. That's, I mean, you look because I imagine he's going to make a schedule like that, right?
Sure, I would think so. It's worked for him before.
If you look at players like Jaedong, you have so many different types of players in the house. You have Jaedong, who's a Korean programmer from StarCraft 1, who's been in that schedule for forever. Then you look at Thorzane. Suddenly, Thorzane he's a foreign player who's never even been in a Korean house really until now. And then you have a player like Zenio, who was in OGS, which was a really relaxed environment from what I've seen. I mean, I've been to the house back when it existed, and I've heard from everyone who stayed there that it was a pretty relaxed environment. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for someone like Zenio to get into that as someone like Hero than it will be for Jaedong.
I have heard, though, that Zenio is like a practice beast. So I worry less about him than I do about some of these other players that I'm not sure like that they've ever gone through something like this. And I wonder how it'll affect any foreigners that come over, because for foreigners especially, it's really hard. Like, the only foreigner ever in the history of esports that has done the Korean schedule successfully was Hydra. No one else ever came close. Nobody, don't listen to anyone who tells you otherwise. He is the only one. Like, seriously, it's an impressive damn thing that he did over here. And he's on EG, so I mean, I guess he could do it again if he feels like it.
Yeah. How do you think? Well, go ahead.
Right.
I'm
mOOnGLaDe.
oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at the screen when he said that, and I was like, oh, Wolf's talking again.
Yeah. Mage is still in Korea. He's in a Kespa team now, isn't he?
That's true.
Is
he team 8
I
still?
think he's doing well, too. Yeah, he is.
I've heard good
I hope
things.
he stays on there.
I heard that he's doing really well, and the team's like really kind of grown to enjoy having him there because he has a different perspective on the game, and he's like, you know, even though he's a foreigner and he hasn't had some of the results that some of the other players on his team have, he has a lot more experience in StarCraft 2 since he's been playing since the beginning. So he's been able to help them see some things, and they're able to help him a lot as well. So it's a good relationship they have there.
Have you guys?
I got a question.
Well, no, okay, mOOnGLaDe, go ahead. I won't cut you off.
Sorry, man.
I
should start talking before someone else finishes.
That's how you gotta do it, man. You just gotta fucking cut him off.
We're commentators. This is our superpower, talking.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Back when we were talking about the head coach, don't you think like it's good if every head coach kind of had like a certain level of gaming ability? Compared, because I know like a lot of them don't. They kind of just they are managers, but don't you think like it's really effective if they're quite hardcore into the game as well?
Sure.
'Cause I know like
I think so. Yeah.
Incredible Miracles coach actually plays quite a lot too from visiting his house. Yeah, I think it's a really positive thing. I think
It is. Hirai is the IM coach. Also, the prime coach Gerard played quite a bit. He made it to the open season. I think number 2 of GSL, and Choya obviously played a lot in the GSL.
You can see it reflected in their teams, right? FXO won plenty of team leagues. IM by far the most championships. You can see it reflected that like if the head coach happens to also have played at a high level at least, that like for instance TSL, all those players did really really well, even though the team eventually fell apart because Mr. Lee was like a high-end pro gamer at one point. So that helps you to understand things. I think that, well, I know it helps you understand things that coaches that never did that can never truly understand. And but the thing is, how many people are like have been that good and are of the right mentality and talents to coach a team? It's pretty hard to find them, really.
Yeah.
So a lot of head coaches are just basically managers that take the head coach role, which, I mean, it makes sense because you still need someone to take care of players.
Exactly.
I mean, it's all of it's important. That's why you see a lot of times the head coach will be like a manager type and then have coaches under him that are ex-pros because they don't really know how to manage a group of kids, but the manager does, and then the coaches help with the play or the mentality of it at least. And occasionally, unfortunately, you'll get someone that is a head coach and thinks that they know the game, but they fucking don't, and then hilarity ensues, and that's always bad. But
Well, in GSTL, for example, they always have like a head coach listed, but then a player coach listed as well, and that's kind of a similar situation. But when you're that manager type who's not really experienced at the game, and you tell players, to practice, and one of the players having a problem, it's hard to communicate at that moment when he's like, you need to play 12 hours a day, and the player turns around, he's like, no, I actually need a 30-minute break. And like a player who's played a lot, who's a coach, could like look at his play and watch him, and he would already even know that, like, hey, you need to like take an hour off. But the other coach who doesn't really understand like why he's struggling or what's going on in his head, because when you practice 12 hours a day, you go through cycles of frustration and different things happen, your play gets affected, and sometimes you need to take a break. And if you're just a manager who's just been told like by some higher up, like, hey, tell him to play 12 hours a day no matter what, and then the guy's like having some issues and needs to take an hour off, and you're just like, no, keep playing, that can also cause some tension within the house.
Absolutely.
yeah, and you have to be careful too, though, because like for instance, in the case of Trot, like he's quite a good StarCraft 1 player. He's pretty good at StarCraft 2, but doesn't really necessarily have the managerial capabilities that are required in this circumstance. So,
Yeah.
I think it says a lot when Colin, who I know to be a pretty organized person, he's one of the higher ups at EG. I think he's probably one of the ones most responsible for kind of all their promotional stuff that's come out as of late. When he tweets, my reaction when Ghost of Trolling showed me how organized Coach Park was, and then has a GIF there, and it's this GIF, if that's able to be seen on stream. So
Wait, link that in chat. I want to see it.
I'll link it here in a second, but I'm very interested to see what his like. He's got to be so organized for Colin to actually do something like that.
Well,
so,
welcome to Kespa. That's
yeah, or it's
that
maybe
is, man.
they're seeing like how hard the Kespa coaches work. Maybe that's what it is.
Dude, if you could, I mean, maybe people can go back and look up some of my videos from the Kespa StarCraft 1 houses. Like, I would take a shot of their whiteboard that, oh my god, if you could even just see it's completely so professional. That's why Kespa champion, man. GSL. This is what's happening.
Right.
Everyone better switch over to this. This is how things are actually done.
So have you guys spoken with Thorzane at all? Is he going to remain in Korea? Do you guys know if he's going to stay over there for
I
the
don't
long
know.
term?
I haven't actually spoken to him.
I hang out with him sometimes. He comes out, especially when Stefano was out here. We'd go out and just talk about stuff. And he seems like he's happy here, but he's kind of uncertain about his future. I don't want to like put words in his mouth, but
Sure.
I think he'll be here for a bit longer for sure.
Well, I mean, if he gets on a regiment like that, like he's going to be a huge player when he starts going to more international events as they start happening.
Well, that's the thing. How long do you stay out here before you go? Because that's what everyone does, is they come out here for a little boost and then go. And whoever's man enough to stay out here the longest and avoid winning all that money becomes like really super good, which is why I have so much faith in Major, because he doesn't really care about money. He just cares about playing with Koreans. So I don't know. I would love to see Thorzane like just give this like 2 years and then just be like 4 times better than any foreigner and just like laugh and just win everything.
You know, it actually
That'd be
is.
great.
If you had to like make a comparison to something else in the world, it actually is like a hyperbolic time chamber going to Korea, man.
Yeah.
You go there,
Maybe.
you get like so much more better practice than anywhere else in the world, and then you just leave and you're fucking all powered up and you can win any tournament that you want.
Very much so. Very much so.
I don't know if Stefano. That's probably the biggest question I have. Like, is Stefano going to go back to this type of situation? Whereas, you know, before it probably wasn't as strict as this is going to be. I don't know if he could actually like thrive in that type of situation.
I don't think
Did
he was
you guys
very happy
watch-
with it.
Did you guys watch the interview Calder did with him after?
I
his up
saw
and down?
the like quotes from it. I didn't watch it though. But so
He
elaborate,
seems
please.
he basically seems very unhappy living in the Korean house environment because he says he practices differently, and also the language barrier that he has is like starting to put a toll on him. He says, and you know, for example, Stefano tries to speak English with Korean coaches and players, right? But that's not even his first language. His first language is French, and he's not like
English
he's
is
not
his
Thorzane.
third language,
Yeah.
just to throw that
Like,
out there. It's his
so-
third language.
So Thorzane, for example, you know, he lives in Sweden and everyone speaks English and uses English there quite a bit. But like for Stefano, using English as his third language to try to communicate with people who speak in Korean and everything else is like a bit overwhelming for him, he says. So he finds it very uncomfortable to be there and practice there. And I think that he will probably, I mean, unless he's forced to, not want to ever go back to it, just based on what he's told me and what he said in interviews.
Well, we'll have to see. It's
It's
definitely
not
a
for
time of
everyone.
changing. Yeah, it definitely is not for everyone.
Actually, quick
especially
little
for-
question. You ever going to come back, mOOnGLaDe?
I'm gonna come back.
Because you spent a long time out here, man. Like,
I should have spent longer, but yeah, I really love to come back and give it another shot. As long as I can find somewhere to stay, pretty much. Now that the Gome house is gone, I mean, it's a little trickier now.
it is a bit trickier, isn't it?
But
We got to talk
I'm
to these
very
teams.
keen. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Incredible Miracle will welcome me back one day. I don't know.
Ooh, that would be sick.
That
They
would
invited
be
me
nice.
back when I was in Korea last time, but it didn't work out.
Mm.
But, that would be the place to go, I think.
I
So-
think you're right.
Yeah, definitely. To spin
Your
off
CVP would become pretty goddamn good.
Oh my goodness.
to spin off from this a little bit, Dan, I'm gonna, I guess, maybe put you in the hot seat here. How long into 2013 do you think that for Koreans, and maybe this is already happening, but for Koreans, that foreigners become like not irrelevant, but they just become like what they were in Brood War?
We've been moving towards that, as everyone knows, for quite a long time. Well, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see less and less travel. Already, I think we are going to have less events this year than last year. And then we're going to see less travel from some of the teams as they focus more on Korean leagues. And the less travel we see from them, the quicker their skill will go up because they're not wasting time on airplanes or in tournaments. Because believe it or not, tournaments, while it's a great place to see what your flaws are, you lose a lot of practice time by playing tournaments. And it all adds up. So I don't know. I don't want to put like an exact number on it, but anyone out there needs to buckle down like 4 months ago if they want to.
Yeah.
Like seriously, everyone's going more Kespa style. All the teams are buckling down harder out here. And it's going to be some scary stuff, man. They are just going to keep getting better and better. Look how quickly the Kespa Koreans have basically caught up.
Oh yeah.
And now the thing is, that's like a reality wake-up call to everyone. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be a broken
mean-
record, man, but they have a superior way of practice, and that is going to show, especially with this take command thing on the replays.
Yeah,
Holy
it's
crap.
also like it's a new game now. It's a new expansion with more spells, more abilities, and more multitasking overall. So, I mean, especially with things like the medevac boosters, the Nexus Cannon, and Oracles, it's going to be really scary to see what these programmers are going to come up with. We haven't even seen yet with Widow Mines, using Widow Mines to control the map, like key locations, little things like that. It's just going to be, if you're not practicing at that level, so hard to catch up with.
mOOnGLaDe.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys, we already decided in Korea, it's Nexus Cannon. Don't call it Planetary Nexus. It's so stupid. So many people call it Planetary Nexus, and I'm just
What's
like, no,
the
it's not.
actual? What's the
I call
actual
it
name
Photon
for it?
Overcharge. Photon Overcharge is the ability name.
It's a Nexus Cannon, okay? It's you turn your Nexus into a big ass cannon. You don't turn it into a planetary. It doesn't do splash. You can't repair
Who
it.
said
Let's not
planetary?
pretend.
Who
I
said
didn't say
planetary?
I just heard that a lot on IEM, man, and it was rubbing me the wrong way.
That motherfucker.
No,
This
I
is
don't-
not
no,
the same.
I
not
kind
the
of use
same
that
at
as a
all.
joke, like that it turns into a planetary. Because planetaries are kind of ridiculous. So, but
Yeah, they're a lot more
Or we can.
ridiculous than my Nexus Cannon, I tell you that. I can't even
just call-
attack near one of those things.
I
I just,
call it
as soon
Photon-
as I have over 80 supply, I just ignore the Nexus Cannon. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, it's either the Nexus Cannon or the Photon Overcharge, man. That's
Yeah,
it.
the photon overcharge is like the
Those are your
actual name for
choices.
it, Dan. So you
Yeah.
don't want to confuse people.
Sorry, guys. I'm letting all the commentators know. Artosis
Yeah, no,
and
I-
Tasis
that sounds
will
so
be
stupid.
calling it
Who's
Nexus
saying-
Cannon.
Who's calling it planetary? That's actually silly. I want to call them out.
It was
Just-
probably
No,
Todd.
no.
It was probably Todd.
I don't.
let's just be honest.
Everyone's been calling it that. I've heard it a lot. So
mOOnGLaDe, to kind of go back on the foreigner thing, are you, I mean, what is your feeling on the whole situation? Like, do you already see the Korean scene just pulling ahead so much further than everyone else? Or
yeah, absolutely. I mean, sure, we're still good enough to take games, maybe series, but it's getting to the point where there's just so many damn good Koreans that the chances of them winning everything are very high. And yeah, they're pulling ahead with all this Kesper stuff. Six players now. So yeah, we
Now-
really have to start practicing like crazy, pretty much.
But with the release of Heart of the Swarm, I've found that my latency against, at least during the beta, against like Americans and stuff, and even Australians, was like really good. Like really
Yeah, we
much
noticed.
better than Wings of Liberty. So like, did
we
they
noticed.
fix something? Can you how's your
I
lag
don't
on the
think so.
Korean server?
It's a bit laggy actually. Like I think it feels
Really?
like it's increased by like a couple of like 20 ping or something.
really?
But maybe I just haven't been used to it because I've been playing HOTS in the beta and we get like better ping to America. Well, I do at least.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. So maybe just overall my ping was down a little bit, and
I
because
think so.
it felt pretty damn good during the beta. I
yeah,
have
it
to
felt
say.
really good. Like I felt like we were playing on Seek from Australia and stuff.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah,
nice.
it might have just been the amount of people playing the beta compared to the amount of people playing.
Oh, that's
like,
too
live.
bad. I was getting excited that maybe everyone had perfect ping to create and could have
Man,
like,
that would be
great
a dream.
plays.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some like server congestion there now, being in a post-launch world.
Certainly.
But that's pretty much it for the news of the week. So we'll take a quick break here and come back, talk all about IEM, recap that event, and talk about how good LGIM is as a team. And then right after that, we'll jump into our MLG Dallas preview, which starts tomorrow. And then we're probably going to close out the show because I got to drive to MLG Dallas right after this. So don't go anywhere. We'll be, like I said, just doing what I said. Right after this commercial break, we'll see you guys then.